Hello and good morning friends, welcome to the CEC EduSet live lecture. Dear friends, with our ongoing series on management accounting, today we would be conducting 7th lecture, and under this lecture we would be talking on fund flow statement. We would be discussing on what fund flow statement is, as well as we would be discussing on what are the sources and application of fund in fund flow statement. And for this very discussion we have once again with us in our studios Dr. Amarjeet Kaur. Dr. Amarjeet Kaur is a professor of accounting, as well as she is a dean of a management school in one of the reputed institution. She is a certified management accountant from USA, as well as she has taught in various universities in India as well as abroad. She has authored books on management accounting. So dear friends, we believe that she is the most appropriate person to talk on management accounting, and as I already told that today we would be discussing on fund flow statement. So let's welcome our guest Dr. Amarjeet Kaur, and let's try to grab maximum knowledge through her. Hello ma'am, welcome to the EduSet lecture.
Thank you Deepika, thank you very much. A very good morning to listeners. Welcome to the next module number 13 under lecture number 7 on management accounting. In the previous modules we have discussed about how do we analyze financial statements. So this is yet another effort to make you understand that how can we analyze financial statements with the help of another few tools available in the literature. So today we are going to talk about fund flow statement, which is another as I said tool for analyzing financial statements. Fund flow statement has 3 words. If you just notice on the word, I'm using 3 letters in this statement: fund, flow and statement. So I shall be addressing the word fund first, followed by flow and then the statement itself. For the purpose of understanding fund, we all know that we have number of current assets and current liabilities existing in any business. Current assets for the purpose of understanding, you can take cash as the most important current asset. Then we have inventory, bank balance, whatever we have to receive from others we call it as debtors, the people who we have to who have to pay us, and anything paid in advance we call as prepaid expenses. They all are our current assets. And then we have current liabilities, whatever we have to pay to the people in very near future, within less than 12 months or within one financial year. So that's what current liabilities constitute are. So they are creditors to whom we have to pay, bills payables, short term loans payable, anything due for taxation, for dividend, etc. So they all are current liabilities. So the fund is difference of total of current assets and total of current liabilities. So this is also known as working capital, also known as net working capital. So even working capital has 3 different ways to understand that, but the meaning which we are using for the purpose of fund flow statement is the one which is known as net working capital, which is difference of total current assets and total current liabilities. And for the purpose of fund flow statement, this would be called as fund. I hope you are with me. Now the second word in this in this topic is flow. Flow means movement as a literal meaning, a dictionary meaning, as we all understand. Flow means movement of fund inward as well as outward, which means your fund, that is working capital, net working capital, would be coming in or would be going out. So both ways it is causing either current assets to increase or decrease, or current liabilities to increase or decrease. So that's what flow is. So fund flow means the movement of working capital either inwards or outward direction, within or coming in the business or going out of business. And when we put this changes, the flow is change basically. When we show this change in current assets or current liabilities for a particular period in a statement, that is known as fund flow statement, right? So why is it a tool? I just said in the beginning, it is a tool for analyzing financial statements, analyzing financial health. This is a tool which actually analyzes very precisely the working capital conditions of a company. So it means we are targeting to understand liquidity, right? So liquidity is here net working capital, not only working capital, rather we should be referring to net working capital, which is equivalent to fund, or fund is equivalent to net working capital. All right. Now there are many specialist experts or accountants or researchers who have defined this fund flow statements in their own language. I am quoting two definitions of fund flow statement here. One is given by Anthony. This definition says a fund flow statement describes sources from which additional funds they were derived and uses to which these funds were applied. So basically, if you look at this definition, this definition is emphasizing upon additional funds. So additional funds from where we have got them and where we have applied them in the business in any accounting year. So this has been given by Robert Anthony. The second definition on your screen is by Roy A. Folke. He says, fund flow statement is a technical device designed to highlight changes in the financial condition of a business enterprise between two dates. So again, here in this definition, we are emphasizing upon that how fund changes between two financial dates, beginning of a financial year and ending of the financial year. So two balance sheet dates. So both of the definitions are basically emphasizing upon to understand or to find out that how do a working capital or how does working capital change between two balance sheet dates, and how can we find out that what are the reasons which actually have influenced to this change happen, right? So moving forward, we would be talking about sources of working capital or fund and application of working capital or funds. So I am listing them in front of you. They are coming one by one, and you can note down or can take a picture of these, and now I will be discussing each one of them one after another. So the first important source of working capital which we are referring here as fund is fund from current operations. Fund from current operation is the most important source of working capital for the purpose of fund flow statement. This is the recovery of profits in terms of current asset, which could be cash here. So basically, fund from operations refers to profits adjusted for any non-cash item. So profits which are of good quality, profits which are convertible into cash are taken here as funds from operation. We will discuss this in length in the very next module today itself. The second source of fund is when you sell fixed assets in a business. If you notice, I am emphasizing upon two things in this statement. In this statement, I said when you sell off any fixed asset and get any current asset, especially cash, in return. So any movement of fund will happen when one item involved in a business transaction is of cash nature and another is of non-cash nature, or you may say it for a better understanding, one item involved is of current nature, another is of non-current nature. So CA and NC, that's what we use in accounting. So if we are selling off a fixed asset, as I just said, that is an example of non-current asset. Table, building, land, etc. They all are non-current assets called as fixed assets as well. And the cash, if I am selling the building for cash, it will be known as it is a current asset. So one current asset and another is non-current assets. Both of them coming together will give you, as flow of fund in your business, which means cash coming in. But the same thing if it is happening for a non-cash item. You are, let's say, you are selling a building to someone in the business, and he is giving you a machinery. So in this transaction, what is happening? You are selling of building, which is a non-current asset, and in that return you are getting a machinery out from the person you are selling to. So this is not an example of fund from operation. No fund will happen, no movement in fund will happen, no flow of working capital will happen, either inward or outward. Reason being, both the item in this example are of non-current nature. Hope you understand the difference now. Then moving forward, the fund can go up, or working capital can go up if we issue shares, or if it is a private business, if it is a partnership firm, if owners they bring capital, additional capital into the business. Say if it is an XYZ company limited and they issue 10,000 shares for 10 rupees each, it means how much money we are going to get? 1 lakh. Yeah. So 1 lakh, if it is issued, if the shares were issued for cash, then definitely this is an example of change in fund, or we may call it this is a source of fund. But in the same example, if these shares were issued but for buying say building, say plant, machinery, so share is a non-current liability, whereas the building, land, they are non-current assets. So no movement will happen. So fund will flow, or working capital will flow or move only if one is current and another is non-current item in any business transaction. So when will a flow happen as a source? When we are issuing shares for cash, or we are issuing shares for some current assets. Say for example, if you are issuing share but you are getting supplies out of it. So you are giving share to Mr. X, he is giving you supplies, say raw material, which you are going to use for production. Now raw material is, inventory is current asset. So this becomes an example of flow of fund, because one is current asset, another is a non-current liability, shares, which is non-current liability for the business. So this is how we understand transactions and explore whether it is causing flow or not. It will be causing flow or movement only if one part of the transaction is current, another is non-current nature. Same thing will happen when we are issuing debentures for or we are giving anyone else long-term loan. You as a business may have surplus fund, and you may be giving let's take the example of debentures only. You need funds and you issued debentures to someone in the general public, so and they paid you in cash. So if you have received cash, so cash is a current asset and debenture is a non-current liability. So this is a good example of fund moving inward, so which is a source of fund. But if you have issued debentures and you have redeemed shares in the return, what will happen? You received new debentures, so non-current liability going up, right? And in return, what you are doing? You are giving them. You are not receiving. In fact, you are transacting shares. You are kind of converting shares into debentures. Debentures going up, shares going down. So your shares are going down. So one non-current liability going down, another non-current liability going up. So what is that? It's not an example of movement of fund. So first example where we issue debentures in cash, where we issue debenture maybe for stock, maybe for any another current asset, then it would be a source of fund. Otherwise, it is not. there could be some unusual happening in the business, or something which is not a very common transaction. For example, you fought a case years ago with someone. You sold through someone. He or she was supposed to pay you back. He did not, she did not, and then you assumed it as a bad debt years ago, 5 years, 10 years ago. You sold to X company in Canada. The person was supposed to pay you $20,000, but he did not pay. But suddenly, out of some good sense prevailed in his mind, and the guy, let's say the guy was Mark. He paid you $20,000 after 10 years. So now, what is this a normal business transaction? It is not. But cash is coming in. 20,000 US dollars are coming to your business as a remittance, from another country, Canada. And the guy was actually owing you, and he paid you suddenly. So what is happening? Bank balance is going up. So cash has come to you as your business, and this is something unexpected. So unusual nature, which is a bad debt recovered. So you treated that amount, $20,000, as bad debt which has turned bad in the past, but has been recovered suddenly. So this would be another source of fund, right? So we call it as unusual reason for recovery of fund or increase in working capital. So they all are the examples where we have funds going up, right? So we call them as sources. So what is the bottom line? Just to recall, just to reinforce, the bottom line to analyze any business transaction is that we look at one thing. There should be either current liability or current asset. I will reinstate, either current asset or current liability should be should be going up or going down. So it must be affected, either way, positively or negatively. And the second item should be either non-current asset or non-current liability. Only then the fund will change. Otherwise, fund will not change. So you can take an example. You purchased stock for cash. What is happening? Stock is current asset, right? Inventory current asset, as we mentioned many times, and cash is another current asset, which is the most liquid current asset. So your stock is rising and your cash is going up. As I said, working capital is net working capital for the purpose of fund flow statement, and net working capital is the difference of current asset minus current liability. With me? So if the net working capital is current asset minus current liability, the difference is net working capital. In this example, your stock for 20,000 is going up, your cash for 20,000 is going down, so there would be no change in net working capital. I hope you got it well now with this example. So moving forward, now we will talk about the applications of fund for the purpose of fund flow statement. As we took few examples where we have inward flow of working capital, which is fund, same way we have certain instances in business where our fund, which is working capital, goes down, right? So which we call as application of fund, or you may call it as application of working capital. So let's take few examples here. The most common example here is when we purchase fixed asset. You can note down these items, and then we will discuss one by one all of them. So it's first is when we purchase fixed asset, then we have redemption or repayment of fixed liabilities, followed by redemption of preference share capital, payment of cash dividend, purchase of intangible assets, meeting up any operational loss, drawings made by owners, buyback of shares, and meeting cost of any unusual payment, right? So let's take these one by one now. Purchase of fixed asset, first thing under application of funds. When you are purchasing fixed assets for cash or for any another current asset, then your fund is going to go affected adversely, means it will go down. So you let's say you purchased furniture, you purchased laptop for your office, and you paid cash to XYZ store. So what is happening? Cash is going down, right? And your furniture or your laptop, that is an asset which is a non-current nature, is going up. So definitely there would be a movement of fund, movement of working capital, but outward your cash goes down. So this is known as application of fund, right? But if the same example, you bought laptop, but in lieu of that you gave few debentures, you issued few shares, will that be considered as application? No, that will not be, because if you are buying laptop and you are issuing shares, so both are items here of non-current nature. So no movement of fund will happen if the furniture is purchased, if laptop is purchased by issuing either shares or issuing by debentures or any other non-current item, right? So this is the one example. Second example to understand the application of fund, which is, I will repeat, net working capital here. When you pay your debentures, you are paying off, debentures were issued 10 years ago, this year they become due, they become mature, and you are supposed to pay them on maturity as an obligation, legal obligation, yes. So you are paying them this year. So what will happen if you are paying in cash, right? Then definitely your net working capital goes down because you are paying them in cash. So this is known as application of fund. But same way, if you are paying debentures off, but not by cash, rather by issuing them shares, debentures converted into shares, we call them as convertible debentures. Of course, this feature should be there at the time of issue. Debenture holders should be knowing that this feature is there in the debentures. Nevertheless, this will affect your fund adversely, your fund will go down. So this is another example of when application of fund is taking place. Same thing will happen when you have preferential shares, we call them as preference share capital, and if the preference share capital has become due, it has to be paid off, then it will affect your fund adversely, negatively, means your fund will go down. And again the same example, if we have issued, we have paid off preference share capital, but in lieu of them we have given them equity shares or we have given them debentures. So most probably we can give them equity shares. So in that case, no fund will move, no flow will happen. So that will not be taken as application of fund. Moving forward, when we have paid cash dividend. So cash dividend is a pure example of, a very clear example of movement of fund outward. Whenever dividend is paid, dividend is a non-current liability for the business, and when we pay in cash, our cash goes down, right? So we will take it as application of fund or application of working capital. Followed by that, the next example is whenever we buy any intangible asset. Intangible asset, for example, you got copyright from someone else, you got some patents from someone else to use their patents. So right is with someone, but you are paying for it, you paid for it. Someone has developed some patent in their lab and you have bought it. So this is an intangible asset, right? Copyrights are intangible. For example, I am author of couple of books and my rights, though I have not sold them, I have given it for use on the basis of royalty. But same thing, if some author sells rights of his or her book to publisher, sells right permanently, right? Then the copyrights are transferred permanently to the publisher, and publisher, whatever he pays to the author, this would be taken as purchase of intangible asset. Now, if he is paying for cash, so his cash, publisher's cash will go down and intangible asset will go up. So one is non-current asset, another is a current asset. So this will cause your fund moving outward. So this is taken as application of fund for the purpose of fund flow statement, right? Then after that we have, if owners have made drawings, if it is a partnership firm or a proprietorship firm, you can understand very easily that owners keep on drawing out of the business revenue. So whatever has been drawn out, the cash goes out. If the drawings are in the form of cash, drawings can be in the form of kind as well, we know, right? If drawings are in the form of cash, cash is going down, right? And drawing is representative personal account and becomes non-current asset for the business. Yes, it is a non-current asset. Generally students cannot correlate this word very easily, they take it something different. So this is a representative personal account drawing, and one current item, which is cash, is going out, and drawing your non-current asset is going up in the business, because this is a contra liability. So your liability is basically going down. Business has a liability to pay back to the owners, and the moment owners draw something, that liability goes down. So in a very good terms, at a higher level, we call it as a contra entry or contra transaction. So contra to liability here, but basically this is a non-current nature. So one is current, another is non-current. So application of fund is taking place, right? Then we have, when we have losses from business operation. If you remember, a few minutes ago we discussed about sources of application, where we have fund from operations, business operation, daily basis, whatever we have earned, after adjusting non-fund or non-cash item. And same way, if we lose, so if we lose from business in any current year, that would be taken as application of fund. Last item I would say, if we have any unusual payment. We take an example that some guy sitting in Canada, Mark, he gave you $20,000. All of a sudden he was supposed to pay you 10 years ago, and he paid you some out of some good sense prevailing in his mind. Same thing happened that you may not have paid him 5 years ago, and he comes up with an legal notice to you that kindly pay my money, and you have to pay. So this is not out of this current year revenue, mind you. You did not generate revenue this year. This was 5 years ago. Some kind of issue was there in the transaction, so you didn't pay, and you have to pay. This has become somehow obligatory for whatever the reason, either legal or otherwise, that you have to pay this year suddenly. Then this is unusual outflow of the working capital. Your working capital goes down, so will be taken as application of fund. So with this module is over. Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to you all. This is module 14 and we are going to discuss fund flow statement and its preparation in this module. So in the previous module we were talking about sources and applications. How do we identify those sources and application? And in this module we will talk about that how do we actually prepare this fund flow statement, or in other words we will say that how do we actually carry this analysis of working capital, net working capital, which is fund here. So those who have just joined me, I will just briefly say that we are discussing fund flow statement where fund is net working capital and flow is movement of net working capital. So basically a statement showing movement of net working capital is fund flow statement. So in this module we would be talking about how do we actually prepare fund flow statements, steps required for that. The first thing is that we make a schedule of changes in working capital. That is the first step, followed by we calculate the actual amount of fund from operations. If you refer to my previous module on this, we discussed that fund from operation could be as a source, or fund from operation could be as application as well, use as well, depending upon if it is a profit, so it would be converted into fund from operations. If it is a loss in any particular year, it would be taken as application of fund. So that would be the second thing which we will be discussing, and that would be the most difficult thing as well. So just a word of caution. And then lastly, then we will talk about how do we actually prepare fund flow statement. So this is the agenda for this module. So beginning with the first thing, how to make schedule of changes in working capital. So have a look on this slide and just refer to the bottom of this slide where I have shown that the current assets, if they go up, and current liability if they go down, the net result is that your working capital goes up. Here working capital is net working capital. So basically the schedule of changes in working capital shows changes in current assets either up or down, and the same way current liabilities either down or up. So if current assets are going up and current liabilities are going down, which we call as increase in current assets and decrease in liabilities, will increase the working capital, right? And if we have current assets going down and current liabilities going up, then it will be taken as working capital going down, which is your fund going down and here fund going up. So why is it so? Because your net working capital is the difference of current assets and current liabilities. I would recommend you to kindly note it down, which will help you to understand even future lectures on this fund flow statement. So moving forward, now I am going to show you how does a schedule look like. So here on the slide you have this schedule of changes in working capital. Yes. So if you refer to the slide, we have basically 4 columns. First column is particulars, which shows details of current assets and current liabilities. Second column shows previous year. In this example I have taken as 2014 as previous year, and third column showing the current year. We have taken 2015 as current year. But nevertheless you can actually replace them. You can put current year in the second column and you can put even previous year in the third column. So there is no mistake or nothing wrong if you replace them with each other, right? And the last column shows changes in working capital, which has been divided into 2 parts, increase and decrease. So last column has been divided into 2 parts showing increase and decrease in working capital. So if you refer to the first column, we have grouped or rather put all the current assets here in that category known as, or in the section known as current assets, right? So we have cash, marketable securities, debtors, bills receivables, inventory, prepaid expenses. A couple of examples are there, right? And in the section B, in the same column, if you refer here where my cursor is, so we have section B, which is showing current liabilities, right, where we have, just to name few, creditors, bills payables, bank overdraft or outstanding expenses, etc. And lastly, we are showing the difference of current assets and current liabilities identified as increase or decrease in this column. At the end, in this column, we will find the increase or decrease in working capital. So, if it is an increase, it is an application. If it is a decrease, it is a source of fund, right? So, moving forward, let's spend few minutes to discuss this schedule of changes in working capital. So, first item, as I just showed you, was cash. And cash, for example, if it was 20,000 in 2014 and now it is 18,000 in 2015, what will happen? Just think for a while. It will increase my working capital or decrease? I said cash in 2014 was 20,000, in 2015 it is 18,000. So, it means there is a decline of cash, which is current asset, by 2,000. Now, my my working capital will change, of course, but will it be positive or negative? Will it be increase in my working capital or decrease in my working capital? Yes, if this is a decrease in current asset, this is a decrease in working capital. So, you need to remember that rule. If there is an increase in current asset, right, then there is an increase in working capital. If there is a decrease in current liability, again there is an increase in working capital, and vice versa. So, if there is a decrease in current asset, this will lead to decrease in working capital, and if there is an increase in current liability, it will decrease your, yes, can you think? Here is the answer. Just look at the slide. I am just putting it again for you. So, current asset going up and current liability going down, they will change your working capital up. The last word here in this line is up. So, current assets in this example which we took is going down, that is why your working capital is going down. And so, and if your current liability is going down, the working capital will go up, right? So, if current asset going up, just to repeat it for the last time, current assets going up or current liabilities going down, then your working capital goes up. If current assets goes down or current liabilities goes up, then your working capital goes down. So, let us take another example. If this is a current liability, say creditor. Creditors say they were 40,000 in 2014 and now they have become 60,000. So, increase in your current liability, right? Creditors are current liabilities and they were 40,000 here and now they are 60,000 in 2015. What will happen? So, we will have increase in current liability means what? Decrease in your working capital. So, this goes in the last column in decrease in working capital. So, basically we have to apply that rule which I just showed you. So, you can take another example, inventory going up. In last year it was 80,000 and now it is 1 lakh. So, if your inventory is going up, then it is an increase in your working capital. But same way, if inventory is going down, then it is a decrease in working capital, right? You can take an example of bills payable. Bills payable going up means decrease in working capital. Bills payable going down means increase in working capital. So, we have to apply the rule which I just mentioned on the previous slide, and then at the end we will see there is a net increase or net decrease in working capital. So, that is the first schedule, so which we make in the beginning itself, followed by the second thing which is known as funds from operations. This is considered to be the most difficult part while preparation of fund flow statement. What do we do here? In this effort, the attempt is to find out net funds from operation. It could be positive, it could be negative. And what do? We take the difference of profit, or loss in 2 years, or you may take net profit or loss for the current year. It's one and the same thing. So profits or loss of the current year as per the income statement, we call it as statement of profit or loss now, would be taken here, right? And then we adjust. This item, say X amount here, with the following items. So if you refer to this line marked in red, it says we would be adding non-fund or non-operational expenses or losses, right? And just to name a few, loss on sale of fixed asset. If we have sold a fixed asset, cash is coming in, right? That cash in total, if you have sold an asset for 20,000 or 20 lakhs, let's say. So if you have sold a fixed asset for 20 lakhs, 20 lakhs would be taken as a separate source of inflow of fund, a separate source of working capital. So we will be taking it separately. So we should not be confused here, that why we are talking sale of fixed asset here at this point of time when we already discussed as a separate source. So let me elaborate on this. If you sold a machine, a building, any fixed asset, what is happening? Some cash is coming in. Let's assume you sold it for cash. So if you sold it for cash, so cash is coming in, so that cash would be taken separately in the fund flow statement as an independent source of fund, whereas fund from operation, so I will emphasize this operation word. Fund from operation is a separate source or application of fund, depending upon, if it is positive it becomes source, if fund from operation is negative it becomes application, right? So fund from operation could be either source or application. When I am putting this operation means I am talking about the the business operations. If I am selling furniture, then my operation is sale of furniture. If I am selling machinery, my business is sales of machinery. So that is my operation. So my business operation would be evolved around purchase and sale of furniture. If I am into manufacturing of business, if I am into machinery, then it would be something different. If I am selling pen, water bottles, then accordingly my operations would evolve around the goods or services I am dealing with. So this fund from operations simply does not include any non-operating item. And the example of selling of fixed asset, if you are selling furniture and you are not into manufacturing and sale of furniture, right? You are into manufacturing of say garments, right? Ladies skirts, and you sold furniture. Some old furniture was there in your factory and you didn't like it, or you just want to replace it, you sold it. Now furniture for you is not a good you deal on daily basis. What you deal in daily basis is the garment, ladies garment, skirts, right? So if you are selling the furniture available to you and anything coming out of sales, say 2 lakhs, 20 lakhs, that is a separate source of fund. Working capital will go up certainly, but not the fund from operation. So because we are analyzing, we are trying to analyze business result, and we want to see the actual working capital increase because of business operation. So my concentration would be, if you are a furniture manufacturer, then how much working capital increase or decrease happened because of change in, because of the sale of furniture. If you are into garments, then the objective is to find out how much change in working capital happened because of sale of garments, not because of furniture, right? I am selling skirts, so my business is garment. So if I have sold furniture, that is not happening daily, that may happen once in a while. So that is not my business operation. I hope you are understanding. That is because fund from operation is such an important aspect of analysis, so we keep it separate head. So we adjust any non-operating item here, and then we conclude what actually happened with the fund from operations. So that is why this statement, fund from operations, I'm restating operations, not fund flow statement, right? So how much fund from operation has come in or has gone out, that is what we are trying to find out with the help of this particular statement. And we are adjusting for non-operating or non fund items. So one item, as I just showed you, is when we sell fixed assets and any loss happened. So if loss has happened, then this would be taken adjusted, it will be added back. If there is a loss on sale of fixed asset, what has happened? In your statement of profit or loss, you have already reduced your profit by this amount. It means if your profit was 1 lakh, after adjusting loss on sale of fixed asset, furniture here, right, say 1000. So your net profit would have been 1,01,000. But since you subtracted 1000 loss on sale of fixed asset, furniture here, so your profit has become 1 lakh, right? So we will add back this 1000 loss, which I took as an example, to calculate fund from operation. Got it? The second item is whenever we write off any intangible asset, we call it as amortization. Amortization of goodwill, amortization of preliminary expenses, right? So if we write off any intangible asset, we add them back. Why? Say when we write off, this is allowed by tax authorities in India and most of the world, most of the countries in the world, that writing off intangible asset known as amortization, is allowed for calculating the income, profits for that matter, to calculate the profits for the purpose of submitting your tax returns, right? So we would be subtracting this writing off amortization amount while calculating profit for the purpose of filing our tax return. But just look at this example. Are you paying this amount to anyone? No, you are not. This amount, which you charged against your profits this year, is very much with you in your business. If you charge, say for example 20,000 as writing off of preliminary expenses or writing off goodwill, intangible asset, but that amount has not gone anywhere out. That amortized amount is very much with you, right? So we will add this back to find out the right amount, the exact amount of fund from business operations. And then the same thing will happen when we are writing off or when we are charging depreciation on any fixed asset. Furniture, building, plant, machinery, they all are subject to fixed depreciation. So if we are charging depreciation, again we are doing the same thing which we did in amortization. We kept certain amount aside, right, and actually have not paid to anyone. We charged it simply for the purpose of calculating our profits for tax purposes, or actually to calculate or to price our products correctly. Basically, when we are charging depreciation, we are charging the cost of a fixed asset over its useful life. We are allocating the cost throughout the life of that asset. That's what that means is. If you spend 1 lakh on one machine, which would be working for you for 10 years, so basically you would be using 10,000 every year, right? If I am using straight line method, so I am not discussing here methods of depreciation, but just to give you an example, if I spend 1 lakh and the machine would be used for 10 years, so 10,000 is the amount which you have used every year. The benefit out of that asset for one financial year is of 10,000. So did you pay this 10,000 to anyone? No. You paid in the year when you purchased the asset, right? After that, you just have been using it and charging against your current revenue every year, right? So we are going to add back this 10,000 to calculate fund from operation, because here we are trying to calculate actual working capital change because of business operations, because of fund, operations. So that's why we call it as funds from business operations. Now followed by, if there's any change in reserves, you created some sinking fund, general reserve, so you transferred your revenue, profits. So again you did not pay to anyone. You had profits and you decided to keep certain money aside as in general reserve to meet up, some for some other future opportunity. So what is that? You have not paid to anyone. So that is just an appropriation of profit, creating reserve. So this will be again added back to calculate the amount of fund from operations. And then the important item is if we create provisions for dividend or provision for taxation. Both provisions are though nature of current, for the purpose of any other matter than fund flow and cash flow statement. They are in actual, current nature of provisions, but for the purpose of fund flow and cash flow statement, we consider them as non-current nature. We will discuss in future module that why do we do that, but whatever the amount of provisions we have created against provision for taxation or provision for dividend, we would add this back to the amount of profits we have this year to calculate from operations. Have a look at the slide and see we have those items which are non-fund or non-operationals, and we subtract them while calculating fund from operations. So here we have few items, 3 of them are stated: profit on sale of fixed asset, non-operating income like rent, dividend, interest, etc., recovery of tax paid, and decrease in revenue reserve, etc. So let's discuss item one by one. If we have profit on sale of fixed asset, that would be subtracted. It's just opposite to the first item. If you look here, loss on sale of fixed asset was added, right? And now I am talking of profit on sale of fixed asset, it would be subtracted. Why? The profit on sale on fixed asset is a non-operating income. You sold some fixed asset and you gained something. So this is considered as revenue, of course, but something of non-operating nature. So we would be subtracting it out of the profits of the current year to calculate the correct amount of fund from operations, right? Moving forward, the next item is non-operating income like rent, dividend, interest. So what happens here? If you have any income because of dividend you receive from shares of XYZ company, you as ABC Limited invested in shares of XYZ Limited, right? So that amount which you got would be known as dividend, as an income to you, and this is definitely some receipt of revenue, receipt of fund, but this is of non-operating nature. Why? Because you did not generate this dividend out of business operations. You are selling furniture, you are selling garment, and dividend received from investment in shares of some other company is certainly a source for you, but is of non-operating nature. So we will consider it in a separate head while making statement of fund flow later on, but not here. So here we are going to subtract it. So could be if you have invested in a building and you have received some rent. So building you are partially using for business and partially you have given it to someone else. So the rent received is something will change your fund, right? Is a revenue, but it will not be taken as from business operations. This will be taken as non-operating income and would be subtracted out of your profits of the current year. The last item would be if you have recovered some tax paid, you have recovered from the any reserve. So that would be again subtracted. So this is how we calculate fund from operations, and this is all for today. Any question is welcome back. I hope you could understand that how the schedule of changes in working capital and how do we calculate fund from operations for the purpose of fund flow statement.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much for giving us a wonderful lecture. And dear friends, if you have any queries or if you want to give your feedback for this particular lecture, then you can mail us at info.cc@nic.in. We would be meeting again very soon. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.